Are you watching it on the screen as well? Can you see it on your side or not?
I have live streaming episode 18, yeah?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So you should just see the starting soon.
Yep, good to go.
We are going. We are live. So we'll see how it goes. So we'll leave it a little while. See who comes in the chat. Um, we're pretty much bang on. We're bang on time for a change. So it's all good. It's all good. Unfortunately, with this screen up, I can't see the chat. So if anyone has dropped it,
I was relying on you.
well,
I've got the chat.
I will be able to see it soon. It just I can't see it on this when this screen's up. But hopefully we'll get some people in soon. If you're already in there, hello, welcome, good evening. Don't worry about the two other clowns that are here that you can hear. All will be revealed in very very soon.
Oh, yeah.
Very soon. I don't know whether there are people in here. There are. Let us know. Let us know you're here. Maybe I should go on the chat over on my device and see whether I can see it.
Oh, that's a good chat. I'm just
Yeah.
going to go chat on my phone.
Oh, it's saying live. Let's have a look. Yeah, if you chat, Sean, then that brings up the numbers. Oh no, there's a few people in here actually. So we got the Southern Crusade. We got Nick. We got Julian, as always, and of course we have got someone called Soul Reaver. I don't know who he is, but there we go. In fact, we've got a few people in here, so let's drop this. And hello, we're here. Look, we got the chat on the screen. I do need to have quite good eyes to see it, but never mind.
Borrow my glasses.
Yeah, I'm going to need to borrow glasses. But yeah, we'll just leave it for another couple of seconds.
5 people watching, 3 of them us.
I know. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. We really connect with the audience.
Right, 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds. I'll be back. You can chat to the guys.
Oh, see what's going on. Happening. Where's the chat?
Let's all the hamsters out. Stop them from squeaking around.
Right, I'm back.
Aaron, is that your wedding photo with your YouTube
I'm back.
picture?
I'm back. Right.
How did you guess?
Okay, right. Anyway, guys, I think we're gonna get the show on the road now. We're streaming live. So, welcome, guys.
John
Hello,
Sober.
and welcome to Wargaming Weekly, the weekly show that goes through all things wargaming related. We talk about news, rumours, tournaments, and a lot of banter, all the same as well. And you can probably see that I am joined by 2 very shifty-looking gentlemen here in the above. So welcome, Sean and Darren. Sean is on the left. Give us a wave, Sean.
I'm holding down the chat channel.
You're holding down the chat, and Darren
Yeah.
gives a wave on the right. Hey,
That's
right,
not a wave,
and
wasn't it?
you probably ask why these guys are here, and I've been teasing it for the last couple of shows, so a few people might have got an idea. But I thought, what better way than reveal what I've been kind of waiting for a while than bring these 2 guys on the stream live. So yes, we've talked about it quite a bit. We are starting a new channel. I've not told you the name yet, but I've brought these 2 guys on because they are my partners in this venture. So Darren and Sean very much sort of wanted to do this with me, and we are really excited to be launching the channel within the next few days now. We're just talking days. So thought we'd bring them on, we can have a chat, and you can get to know the guys as well, and they can give me a hard time as much as you guys do. So it should be a lot of fun. Thank you very much everyone that's joined us in the chat this evening. And yes, I will reveal. In fact, let's let one of these guys. One of you guys. What we calling this channel? What we calling this?
I think you should stand up, John, and show them the logo. That should be the best intro.
When it called Fluffy Dice.
Fluffy Dice. Yeah, we're going to call
Yeah, Fluffy
ourselves
Dice,
Fluffy
wasn't it?
Dice.
Or Quacky Dice.
That's right. So last week I actually showed them the T-shirt, right, literally as the last part of the video, but the stream dropped out and it looked almost purpose, but it wasn't. It was just the fact that the stream dropped. But yes, let me show you guys. Let me show you the grand unveiling of what this channel is going to be called and what you're all going to rush away and subscribe to the minute we drop a video. Here we go. We're on a drum roll. Da-da-da.
Yay!
There you go. So you've seen it here first. So, Twisted Dice. So that's our venture, guys, isn't it? That's what we're doing. That's what we're stupid enough to put our blood, sweat and tears into.
There we go. Sorry,
Yeah.
my video was down.
Your video's down. Well, I've gone a bit blurry, so I think my camera's trying to... There we go, that's a bit better. Yeah, so anyway, Twisted Dice is the channel. It should go live within the next couple of days. Fingers crossed it might even go live tomorrow. So we've been really, really busy either painting armies, producing content, sorting out social media, so we're all ready to go. These guys have put in a shift and a half, so we're getting there. We're very, very close now, and as I said, it's going to drop very, very soon, and we've got loads of exciting stuff planned for you. But before we talk a little bit more about that, I just thought we'd kind of talk about these guys a little bit more. So, Darren, tell me a little bit about why the hell you're getting involved in this stuff.
I'm very passionate. I love 40k. Big 40k man.
Very passionate.
Very passionate. We're talking about gaming.
I know you can leave it at that. We could just leave it as that. Just drop it as that.
Just very passionate.
No, I love 40k. The hobby's been a big thing for myself. I'm more into my painting than the actual gaming itself.
That's because you're useless.
Say that again.
That's because you're useless.
Oh, come on. We haven't fought yet, John.
No, we haven't.
We haven't met on the table, have we?
No, not on the table.
And I tell you what, this is going to be the beautiful thing about this, John, you see. Now 8 is about to drop. Really looking forward to this. This means you cannot hide behind any of your dirty formations. So there'll be no more
playing field.
towel, hiding back, shooting away, defending your back line. And I believe combat's going to be really good. So it means me going to get really in there, show you some real tactics.
Right,
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. So how long have you been playing for, Darren, then? Or pretending to play?
I pretended to play for, do you know what, I don't really know. 10, 15, 20 years? Can't remember. As long back as I can remember.
And what armies do you collect? So what are we likely to see on the channel?
So my pride at the moment is my Demonkin.
Nice.
So that's hopefully you're going to get a chance to see the Demonkin rock the board. Though I believe we might not see it as it's Demonkin anymore. I think it'll just be a case of chaos. Hopefully you're going to see the aliens pop on the board. Show John how Tyrannus are really played.
No.
Shall I?
No chance. No chance.
So yeah, so I've got aliens. Say that again.
I said we're going to fall out already. Don't you knock the Tyranids?
No, so
it's
I've got
like the same armies. It's really weird. You're both doing Taz and Sun, both doing Mids. It's mad.
Yeah.
I know, and the other scary thing is both doing their World Eaters as well.
Yeah.
So I've had to stop my World Eaters at the moment because I know John's got his World Eaters on the go. So that's had to put me on hold at the moment. But it's cool. I'm going to rock it for the Thousand Suns.
Yeah. So I've had to not do. So I wanted to do pre-heresy Thousand Suns, but I've had to agree to let Darren do them because it's not fair. Because I've already taken his favourite legion. I can't take his second favourite legion as well. So I've promised. So now I'm watching Darren release all his lovely new Thousand Suns stuff, and I'm really jealous. So it's kind of all comes around in the end. But
you set up an Instagram account, Darren. I want to see more pictures of them.
Well, yes.
I will start getting more and more up on there. So now we've got the everything all going on rock and roll in that. I started them on the Twisted Dice. So as the progress goes through with all the Thousand Sun stuff, I'll just add more and more pictures on there. And hopefully as we progress through, I'll talk through some of the techniques I've done with it, how I've got to certain stages, and also talk about the things the mistakes I've made as well. Like anything, when you watch videos and that, you never know with the mistakes that people have made. And it's the mistakes that help you learn. Yeah. And when it comes to that, so hopefully I can go through them with you. I've done a really lovely red colour scheme that I know John really excited over. But I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to show them that this red is going to be awesome.
Right, so in the chat, guys, how do you paint? What does a Thousand Suns pre-heresy army look like? What's characteristic of that red? Let me know, and we won't give away what yours looks like, Darren.
I think I am interested in Thousand Suns paint schemes with the white. I didn't think I'd like that, but I've seen a few Instagram pictures lately, and that's really catching my attention.
Yeah.
I suppose, Darren, a good story to tell them is probably how I met you.
Well, go on, tell us. Is it going to be emotional?
Now, do we put the? It depends on what version I put on this. The first one I met Mr. Cannon.
I'm thinking about the one when I worked at GW and I introduced myself to you for the first time. Don't know what you're thinking of.
But that's what I'm thinking about as well. But I'm also thinking about the time he was laying on the floor.
Oh God, I used to do that as well. Keep that, keep that.
We'll just leave that there. We won't say no more.
Oh dear.
No, Mr. Cannon.
Right.
First time I met Mr. Cannon. Went into the shop, go buy some models. He comes over, all happy, like a little bunny.
My GW top one. They just come out of that phase where they'd been really pushed. You used to go into a shop and like they just catch you from every angle.
That's the thing. He'd come over, talk to you, and then you look at him, and you could just see he's not paying no attention at all. So I just changed topic. It's like I was looking at, I can't remember what it was, Space Marines at the time, and then I was like, "So, what do you reckon of these orgs then?" He's like, "Yeah, these are really good." Holding a box of Space Marines. He didn't have a clue what I was saying.
Mr. Canning.
Yeah, but the best part was you left that day. So you came in on a Friday, right? Oh. And you left, and then you came in on a Saturday, and I introduced you to myself as if I didn't even know you.
Yeah, I know. That's terrible.
Right, look, okay, alright, that's enough of this bromance going on, lads. Right, so Mr. Canning, tell us a little bit about you. Now, we've seen you a few times on this channel, but what have we got to look forward to you in the next few weeks, months, years, if we can stand it?
Yeah, I think primarily my passion has been around 40k and kind of recently converted over to Horus Heresy. Legion that I specifically follow and what I like in 40k is, I suppose, AdMech Space Marines. I've got multiple Space Marine chapters, Chaos Space Marine. So at the minute I'm running Sons of Horus and Ultramarines in kind of, I suppose, Ultramarines for 40k, 30k. So I'm sure you guys will see stuff pretty quickly of what I like to play. And then I suppose aside from GW stuff, I'm a big fan of some of the X-Wing things, and I try and push a little bit of that on the side. But I think Heresy will be the main stuff at the minute, and looking forward to the new 8th edition, which I think everybody is.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what armies at the moment have you currently got? So is it AdMech, Space Marines? They're your two armies, or what else you got hiding away?
Space Marines for 40k, Sons of Horus for 30k with Ultramarines as well. So that's like a crossover army.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I have Chaos Space Marine army, Nurgle, which I am absolutely buzzing for. Can't wait for that to drop.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a few sneaky things come out of Warhammer Fest.
Yeah.
You say your Death Guard.
Yeah. And we'll talk about Warhammer Fest a little bit in a minute, but so from Twisted Dice, what have we got planned? What's kind of what do we expect to see in the next sort of few weeks?
Who's going to take that one first?
Who's going to take it first? Come on.
I think we're going to see some dodgy banter going on.
Some dodgy banter. Well, you've probably already seen that
dodgy
already.
Banter.
But
Terrible. I think from what we're working on, we've got quite a bit of heresy, so that'd be quite cool. We've got some 40k lined up. I think other things we're going to focus on as well is more of the hobby aspect of it as well, challenges. So we've got a few interesting things lined up that not a lot of channels are doing. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really good if we can kind of grow a community around us and have them follow along. That would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. We want it to be pretty interactive. That's as I said, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Parents just taking a text. Oh, head down.
Yeah.
That's
It's all right, Darren. No, don't worry.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
He's lost interest already, isn't he? It's like, wow.
Then there were two.
That was so last 10 minutes ago. I'm bored. I'm bored.
Oh, he's still recording. Shit.
Oh yeah. No one's told us about your poor shocking red yet. I'm still waiting
Jaffa
for the first
Cakes
person.
are following us. Stream update. What else have we got? People really excited to go to Warhammer Fest. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, okay, so yeah, these two, absolutely. I mean, I'm bringing the professionalism here, guys, because these two, wow, we're going to be in all sorts of trouble over the next few weeks.
I've got some videos to
fine.
Professionalism so far.
So so there's been an awful lot of work. We've spent a lot of time to try and make sure that the quality of the content should be really, really crisp for you. So expect a good level of production. As I said, a lot of banter. We've got lots of ideas of different bits and pieces to try and do something a little bit with a twist, hence the name. We don't want to just be your standard battle report producers. We want to add something a little bit different. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it and come on the same journey that we're going on. It is going to be, just a bit of a laugh. We're not taking it too seriously. This isn't your pay-per-view channel. This is not Ace Face X. This is a new thing. These guys are absolutely as dedicated to this hobby as I am, and we're looking forward to going all out and just bringing you something really, really special. We hope, fingers crossed. So fingers crossed the first video will come out within the next 48 hours. That's the plan. I'll probably finish off editing my stuff maybe tonight, depending on how long this goes on for. With fingers crossed that might be out tomorrow. But lots and lots of stuff to come. So yeah, really, really good. Can't wait. But I think what we should do now is let's talk a little bit about tournaments and what's coming up. So it would be wrong not to talk about the London GT that's just happened. All the feedback that I've had was it was a fantastic event. So well done to the guys that ran that. It seems like that it was 10 times better than it was last year. And if I know the guys, I'm sure it will be 10 times better again next year. So by far, I believe, the biggest tournament in the UK that's an independent tournament, and only in its second year. So congratulations, guys. Well done. Top stuff. Sounds like it was a great couple of days. So there's that. And then let's talk a bit about Warhammer Fest. So Warhammer Fest now is just a week away, basically. You're going, aren't you, Sean?
Yeah, we've filled it. I don't know if we can say this. I don't think she's ever going to find out.
She'll never find out.
Yeah, we've basically rented an Airbnb, and we have we have crammed people into it. We've got, I think it's built for like 3. But we've got people coming from all around the UK. We've got sleeping bags going down. It's going to be like a covert operation to get people in and out without the landlady noticing. So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So
peeking through the back door.
Yeah, you just see the van rocking up and just opening it, and like people jumping out with all their bags, and they're like, hopefully Thunderhawk gunships, magnets.
Wow. So if you're in the area and you hear a lot of noise and a lot of hullabaloo coming from one tiny, probably little 2-bedroom bedsit, that will probably be us. But you're playing you're playing in the 40k event, Sean?
Yeah, I am playing in the 40k event, and I know we're going to touch upon it later, but I'm quite tempted to give my drop pod Space Marine list one final blowout.
Yeah.
Potentially before a few things change. But I'm really tempted to call up and just do the 30k event as well. I mean, I think they'll both be excellent. They'll both be really good fun. I think we'll meet some really interesting people.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm just kind of torn between the two. What are you guys doing?
Are you coming, Darren?
I'm coming, yeah. So I've only managed to just get off the Saturday booked off work now. So originally it was just going to be the Sunday. But now I've got the Saturday off as well. So Do you know what? I'm in dilemma because I'd love to. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to get involved with the tournament side, but I'd also want to get involved with just chatting to some of the guys down there,
Yeah.
on the stands and that.
Yeah.
Just get ideas, see what's coming out, see what gossip I can spill from them if they willing to tell. Just have a look at some of the cool models coming out. I guarantee there's going to probably talk about the 8th edition down there. So it's really going to be a case of picking their brains and that. So probably for me, the 2 days probably won't be gaming, but I would probably try to get around, see people, come and meet people as they're playing, see what army's been building on the table. Probably try to get some ideas and what people are taking.
Sounds
I mean,
good.
sometimes it can be quite hard to try and get the GW guys, the Forge World guys, to kind of spill beans. They're normally pretty tight-lipped with what they
100%.
they say. I remember being at a Forge World Open Day, and I think they just brought out Magnus, and I was chatting away to them about like how they size up the kind of the resin models. It was just 2 of the painters, and one of them started talking about like the Zagnogs or the Zagnazors, the Zinch demons, and I hadn't a clue
Zangors.
what they were on about,
The
and they just
Zangors.
stopped halfway and looked at me,
Yeah.
and that was quite funny. But I just didn't know what was coming. I just had this really strange name.
Fair enough. So what do you think is going to win it then, Sean? Because I'm particularly 40k. I'm really interested because I just can't get my head around it, to be honest.
I think it's just going to be the Elder, isn't it?
Do you think so?
They're just going to wipe everyone off the table.
I think you're
Do
right.
you know what? I reckon it's gonna be the Gene Stealer cult. You're not gonna see him coming.
You reckon? I see Gene Stealer Cult. They were when they first launched Gene Stealer Cult. They were really a hot property, and I still think they're just the same, to be honest. But a lot of people have said that they got massively nerfed when you had to place the unit after rolling. To find out what they did. I mean, yeah, I can see why.
With the Gene Stealer cult is nobody really knew what it did.
Yeah,
It was like AdMech. When I first started playing AdMech, when it first came out, no one knew what it did. You could just say whatever you wanted, and people just nod their head and went, yeah, fine, fire away.
yeah. But I think that put a lot of people off. To be fair, that having to do that, but I still think they're strong. I still think they're very strong. It's interesting that the guy that won the London GT was taking demons, and he took the all the screamers. So it was the I can't remember the name of the formation, but it's the formation where you have 9 Zinch units, and he had sort of like 9 mini units of screamers. Very, very interesting. I mean, it's not a new list. It's been doing the rounds for a while, but and the guy that won it is, I can't remember his name now, and I should know. He's one of the top England players for the ETC. So he's a great player, really, really strong player.
Spanish guy.
Pardon?
Is that the Spanish guy?
No.
Talking about the
Nathan.
English.
Nathan's his name, I believe. But yeah, he's a really well known, very, very good player. Always does well in tournaments. Always in the top, top 5 generally in most big tournaments. So it doesn't surprise me he did well. But that's a list that I didn't think would necessarily make it to the top. When you think that Unari are hanging around and what have you, that surprised me.
Alistair Everett runs a very similar list like that. He goes to like the Last Chance Open and the Northwest Open. He's a really nice guy. Or that blue horror list, that's the worst, isn't it? You know that one when they put it on the board and no matter how much you kill, you're better off just leaving it. Don't shoot it.
Yeah.
I think that could do well. I really wanted to do that, but I just couldn't face painting that many blue horrors.
Yeah. No, it's but obviously that's gone now, isn't it? Basically, as soon as it changes, that list is dead. But interesting. Yeah, I think you're right, Sean. I think the Unari are going to be top dogs at the Warhammer Fest. I think they're too strong. So
You're not tempted to give your tower run out?
see, so I'm not playing the 40k event. I'm being a turncoat, and I'm playing the Age of Sigmar tournament because I absolutely can't. I can't work it out. I cannot work out how to put an army on the table in 40k with pretty much no restrictions. It's just, and particularly with the old style missions, I just couldn't get my head around it. And I think half the excitement of 8th edition at the moment is I think we're all in the same place that 40k at the moment is a bit of a car crash. I think you guys both agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's bloated. I think there's some really good mechanics to it. I just think over the period of time it always happens every edition.
Yeah. I mean, we had a cracking
eventually.
game at Warhammer Worlds. I mean, it's still a good game, but I think at a competitive level at the moment, it's just there's too many ways to break the game and to make it a non-enjoyable experience for your opponent. I should know. I played 5 games with the towel.
I mean, if you look at
That
30k,
person.
you know that uses pretty much the majority, the mainstay of the rules for 40k, and you can get through a very quick game, and it is quite enjoyable. Obviously, I know there's extra add-ons with legions and whatnot, but I don't think fundamentally it's broken. I think it's the codexes added around it, the formations that kind of, make it a little bit more bloated. But I'm looking forward to change. You know, I think that first 6 months where people are really trying to figure out lists and see what works and doesn't work, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting times. Absolutely.
I can't wait for you or Darren to come to me and be like, oh, I've got this killer list, and oh, it's so good, and then when you put it on the table, you're like, oh, it didn't work as I expected. That's going to be I relish moments like that. I'll be like, yes.
Hello to the chat, by the way. It's filling up quite nicely. Hello, Nick. Hello, everyone else that's kind of jumped in. Appreciate you all joining us this evening. We'll do a bit of a Q&A at the end, so obviously if you've got questions, but by all means, just fire in there. Carry on with the banter. Don't want to hear any more about Jaffa Cakes, Gregard. I've told you. You tell it every single week. It's getting old now. Cut it out. But yeah, we'll no doubt have to deal with that subject later. We've got 2 other guys that can wade in on the all important life or death. Is a Jaffa Cake a biscuit or a cake? Don't answer now, guys. Don't answer now.
Okay.
So, yeah, keep that under your hat, because that's how good this show gets. That's when it really hits the peak, is when we get to that level of questioning. So yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm taking Age of Sigmar, and I'm going to be taking my Clan Skyra Skaven, which is very much an Alpha Strike type list. It basically just appears and does a load of mortal wounds. It's very, very nasty. It's quite an old list now. A lot of people have been playing it a while, and I'm pretty inexperienced in Age of Sigmar, so I don't think it will win. But it's the first tournament I've played for Age of Sigmar, so it'll be interesting to see how it gets on. It does extremely well. It does extremely well against elite armies, so low model count armies. It's really vicious against, but it struggles against like big model count. So yeah, so it should be a lot of fun. I've just got to finish off painting a few models for it, and it'll be a good introduction, because then I'm at the Heat 3 GT later on in the year. So this will be a good kind of like little feeler of how Age of Sigmar plays in a competitive level. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. And then of course on tournaments, we can't have a show without talking about No Retreat, and particularly as I have a partner in the chat here who's also fortunate enough to be going to both events. Crazy fools we are, Darren.
I know.
You're the only 2.
We are the only 2.
We are the only 2. But you know what? The guys do a really good job at the No Retreat. You know, I've enjoyed the tournaments we've been to so far. I've really enjoyed them. You know, I've had a good crack. The actual tournaments itself and the games afterwards. So yeah, what are you laughing at?
I don't know what he's laughing at.
Here in that room at that one time, but we'll not go there. That was quite funny.
Let's
But you guys are. I've spoken to you both on separate occasions, and you're talking about flying back in the middle of the week.
I'm not. I'm staying there.
Oh, you're staying there.
Yeah.
I'm sure Stephen will look after you. He'll take you around the caves and whatnot.
I was thinking about just taking my sleeping bag and go sleep with the monkeys up on the rock.
You'd be at home, Darren. You'd be right at home. You can like pick flies out of the back of their ear.
I could just see the woman in the tour bus from last time pulling up beside you and like giving a little bit of running commentary. This is a rolled estate. He wears his glasses. He's short-sighted.
If I just take some models up there, I can just sit on the rock and paint. It'd be fine.
It'll be fine.
Oh
It'll
man,
be fine.
wouldn't that be amazing? Like, I don't know how many people don't know much about SN, but not only is the tournament really good, but Gibraltar's actually really, really good for a short break. Like, you could easily bring your paints out there and some models, and like you could paint in your room and look out at that view all day. I love that.
Yeah.
I love looking at the ships coming in and out. I want to see a submarine come in. That would be amazing. I would literally just retire from the tournament and then be like, I'm going home. I've done what I want to do.
To be fair, Sean, that's you on every tournament though you go to. The night before, you're still there painting.
Oh man! So last week, so I don't say anything. I even mentioned this.
Oh, don't say this.
So before we were on the live stream, so this guy, so Warhammer World, right? The biggest thing for my channel, probably one of the biggest things. And we're just getting ready. We've been up there all day. We've had a cracking day. It was awesome. And then sort of we get past lunchtime, and Sean's like, I need to do some painting. I was like, oh yeah, you just think you think, oh, he's just gonna maybe like finish a base off, or do the rims, or tidy something off, No, he's got to paint half of Gilliman. What the I was like, what are you? I was like, I'm just standing by him and going, Sean, just don't do this to me. He's like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm watching him. He's just giving me it. And this went on until, I'm gonna say, 15 minutes before we went on live. He's still painting.
Gilly went on wet then, did he?
No. He was. In fact, I would go as far as to say that's the best flaming sword I've ever painted.
It was shocking. He was like,
well,
he was like,
good news is, I'm going to put my hands up and I'm going to do some painting blogs about how to get past that. I don't know. It's that like delayed mechanism. I know some people sign up to tournaments and they put their head down and they get it done and they go to the next tournament. They're consistently doing it. But I'm going to start doing a painting blog. I'm going to put up videos of how a man who struggles to paint is going to paint an army. I'm going to do custodians, by the way. So it's like, it's only 10 models.
Absolutely give me a damn heart attack. I'm like, oh, God's sake, Sean. He's like, can you get me a wash? I think I want a red wash. Can you find me a red wash? And he's got like this bag full of paints. He's bought every paint he's got. And he's like, can you get me a red wash? Can you get me? And I'm like, Sean, sort it out.
Oh man, you're killing me here, man. I can't. I'm literally sweating. I'm laughing that much.
Oh man, you just give me a heart attack.
See, we went to Vegas. We went to Vegas, and he took his paints to Vegas with him. We were all out. Me and the other chaps going out into, out on the strip. Out looking at. Sean, you come with us? No, I've got to paint. You're kidding me, Sean. You had how long to paint these? Bless him.
Man, that Vegas trip was something else, wasn't it?
Yeah, man.
I was.
Yeah. I'm absolutely gutted I can't go to No Retreat, both of them, and I can't hit Vegas because I'm getting married. Killer. I'm happy to get married, but I mean I've kind of picked bad times because we're gonna go to Mexico for the honeymoon, and that's literally gonna land the week before or during the LBO, and I'm desperate to get back there and see some of the American guys I met. They were so much fun. They were so refreshing as well.
It's a good event, not just for the gaming, isn't it? It's all about just the experience. It's great at the LVO. So yeah, it's awesome. Right, guys, that's tournaments. So let's talk a bit about 8th edition. I think probably that's what everyone's talking about at the moment, and I think it would be rude not to talk about it. They put up a live kind of chat stroke FAQ stroke questions earlier on the Warhammer TV, and I thought I kind of got the list of the different things that they went through, and I thought we'd speak about it a little bit now. How's the chat going, Sean? It seems a bit static. Everyone's still talking about cake and biscuits.
Yeah, we're moving on to red wash.
Oh, okay, fine. You keep an eye on that chat because it's not refreshing on my screen. So, but there you go. So
let's get the guys in the chat to jump in as well and just kind of give us their thoughts on kind of the new rules that are coming out, and you can tell us some of the latest ones. Absolutely. And what I'll do is I'll hit the questions over to you when you take a breath.
Absolutely. But yeah, so So let's start off with a few things. So they spoke about a lot of it. So let's start with the thing that is probably one of the biggest bone of contentions at the moment, which is the drop pods and reserves on the whole. So reserves, how they've said they will definitely work, and they clarified this a little bit as well. They've said that particularly in matched play, you will only be able. You'll have to deploy half of your list. So 50% of your army must come in turn one. So that's going to stop all null deploying armies, which is really interesting. And the reason why is because they believe that it's a little bit too overpowered, the null deploy tactic. So they've said, obviously in non-match play, people just want to play a narrative-driven game. Then there's something quite cinematic about a null deploying drop pod army. But when it comes to like match play, it's a bit too full on. So they've kind of taken that away by making sure that half of your army deploys. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
See, I think that's a really good idea, because you think about it, you go to some tournaments, you come up against an army that's got full drop pods. You're going turn one, maybe you lost the roll on that. Turn one, you've got nothing to fire at. So potentially that's first blood gone. There's nothing you can do about that. So me personally, for the armies that I play with, yeah, I'm all down for that. But then I don't rock with the drop pods. So I'm saying it on a selfish point of view that I'm happy to see that. With the you have to have 50% on the board. But that's how it used to be before, though, in the past.
Yeah.
You always used to have 50% on the board, and I always used to like that gameplay. So to me personally, I think that's a great move forward. It stops kind of some of the filth that's coming out at the moment.
Yeah.
But then saying that, do you know what? It's beatable. I wouldn't say it's unbeatable. No. Last time I played the drop pod list was with Sean when he fired down all his ultramarines and that. Still beat it. So I do think it's beatable.
Yeah.
It just makes it.
So coming from the other side, so I think I'm a bit like you, Darren. I don't really give a monkeys about Space Marines in drop pods because I don't have any of them, and I just like killing them with my tail. That's probably the highlight when I see them on the table. But this man here has quite a few drop pods and has been known to play that particular tactic. So how are you feeling about it, Sean?
I'm kind of indifferent to it. I kind of want to see how it all works. I mean, the other thing is they can always just release a new version of a codex or whatnot and just put it in there. But I suppose from my side, I think sometimes is if you play a drop pod list and you go first, your whole army is going to be right in front of the opponent. I can understand people who don't like losing the turn of shooting, but then I suppose this edition has probably been pushed a bit further with things like Skyhammer, where you're coming down, you can charge in, plus everyone's just packing with grav. Yeah, I'm indifferent. I'm interested to see what works and what doesn't work. I mean, every edition of 40k that you get, you will find an army that you do like to play. Like I remember back, there was a really interesting kind of combo of the rules where, like Nurgle, you could take Epidemius, and the more stuff you killed, the stronger the army got. And I was like, that's such, fluff-wise, that's pretty cool for Nurgle.
Yeah, I mean,
they shut that down quite quick though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did die quickly, but it didn't matter if it was your army that died or their army that died. You just got a little bit stronger. And then when you only had about, I suppose, 15 models on the board, they had good invulnerable saves and feel no pains, and they could ignore armor.
That was probably a good game we had back in the store many years ago. My Nids against your Epidemius.
Oh man, I love that game.
But the last bloody model.
Not to stray off the point. I think you'll always find an army that you want to play, and it's refreshing. You got to paint it up, and yeah, I'm interested. I've got enough armies now that if I have to change over, it doesn't really bother me. The only thing that kind of gets me a little bit down, but a little bit excited at the same time, is if they nerf drop pods and they nerf and the Space Marines go away and the Primaris Marines are like armies of Primaris Marines. I've just spent a lot of money on 60 Space Marines and a load of drop pods. Like, what am I going to do with them?
Right.
eBay.
Well, let's not get too carried away. We haven't moved on to Primus Marines yet. Come on, don't stop jumping the gun. So I'm just having a look what they're saying in the chat. I don't think there's too many concerns at the moment. We've got SM battle reports are in the chat. Nice to see you guys. I'm not too sure whether that
He
is.
has a beautiful voice. Oh,
Do,
wow.
do we think that's Pardo, or could that be one of the others?
I don't know.
Who do you reckon?
Did they all have access to the account?
I'm guessing so. Or do you reckon Pardo don't let anyone else touch it?
I bet it's Stephen. Stephen's probably sitting on the couch. He's got these two dogs, Toby and Lucy, and he loves them. I bet he's sitting there with them now. The thing is, if you ever stay at his house and you try and approach the dogs, they just run away.
What was it?
Oh dear.
Wow.
Sean's ex-boyfriend.
Stephen, how's your fight training going?
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, Yimika, Yishima.
Oh, we're well off track now. Anyway, right.
Hit us with more rumours.
Right.
Rumours.
Right, let's get back to it. Hang on a minute. Right, let's get back to where we are. So what they also said, well, I suppose before we go on to the next kind of bit, they did say also, because someone questioned whether Grav would still be so overpowered, and they were
Probably not.
and they were very, very careful with their answer. So basically what they said was that it won't necessarily be Grav that gets reduced in power, more potentially that other things will be leveled up. And I think, reading in between the lines, that's exactly what they're saying. So they're saying Grav is not going to be king anymore, and that it will be a bit reduced in power. Because obviously they're not going to say that. They're not going to come out and say, yeah, Grav's no good anymore. Because there'll be 1,000 people that are throwing their models against the wall because they're all Grav. So that's not going to happen. But I thought that was interesting.
I think with split fire and like different weapons, it'll be pretty cool to see what people are trying to play.
Absolutely, yeah. So there was a little bit of a chat in there about Mark 9 armor and why it was just missed, why they've gone straight onto Mark 10 or Mark X, and they didn't really say. They just said it's a mystery and it's been lost in the archives of the Imperium Library. So that was an interesting kind of answer. I just think it's probably
almost like Dorn.
A bit like Dawn, yeah. Locked in the basement, not allowed out. Fighting off the legions of demons that are underneath the Imperial Palace. That's why I lost.
That's what I've heard. I really hope that story is so true.
How cool would that be? Like literally, someone like opens the door down in the basement and there's Dawn still in there. He's like, "Is anyone going to help me?" It's just the
Do you think he's really pissed off? Do you think he's really annoyed he doesn't have his hand and he's missing his hammer? Like he's just like endlessly trying to load bolt pistol clips in, and he's like, "I wish I had another hand."
I just can imagine like Gilliman walking around the halls of the Imperial Palace, and he can hear this knocking on the wall. It's like, "Help me! Help me!" It's like, "What's that noise? What's that noise?" "Ah, don't worry, that's Dawn. He's in the basement, still fighting off the demons. We'll leave him down there. He's fine." It's hilarious.
10,000 years. Yeah, he's doing all right.
Oh, man, you'd be so tired.
He's just got a big beard. He's a massive, great big beard. He's just in there, just fighting them off.
If you're a big fan of Imperial Fist, you should definitely listen to The Beast Arises. There's some really cool bits of fluff in there that I've listened to, and there's a few and they're very subtle with it. The writers they just have this one or two sentences, and they'll drop something, and you'll be like, "Oh my god," and you'll go back and listen to it. So I've done that a few times. So I'm not a massive Imperial Fist fan, but fluff wise, you definitely stop and you say, "Did he say that?"
Yeah. So going on to what else they speak about. So they spoke about the combat threat's going to be a lot greater. So expect units to be able to get into combat much quicker, which is good, because there was quite a lot of questions around whether shooting would be king still or whether melee would come in, and they very much said that expect units to be really on you quickly. They commented on Storm Boys, saying Storm Boys are going to be ridiculously quick, which I thought was interesting. Nice little one there. There's more and more stuff coming through saying Orcs are going to be pretty strong, so that's exciting. They talk about psychic powers. So you're going to be able to pick your psychic power. I think that's already come out, but thought that was interesting. So, and the
I
reason,
like that.
yeah, and the reasoning that they said it, and I thought it was really good reasoning. Again, it's kind of one from a tactical point of view. If you're playing competitively, you want to be able to plan with these things, but also from a fluffy point of view. Actually, if you've got a certain sort of psyker, you'd want to kind of make the narrative around him kind of having a type of power. It makes sense. You're saying you agree with that then, Darren?
Yeah, 100%. I much prefer that because when you're playing, you're in a tournament and you're relying upon psychic dice. It's you never get what you need, and it is so damn random at the moment. So being able to pick what what spell you're going to use before the game. Yeah, I'm all down for that. Hopefully, what they'll do, depending on the spell you choose, you pay points for it. So that goes into your point pot. So the dirtier the spell, the more points you have to pay for that spell. I'm all game for that. So then that kind of balances it off a little bit more.
It's like the command traits, isn't it? Nothing worse than rolling the dice and getting a command or a psychic power that you just can't use. Do you know what I mean? It does nothing. You're just like, why did I roll the dice? What was that for?
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. That makes sense. They spoke about transports, so they said that because there was some concerns around the fact because independent characters can't join units anymore, would that stop characters from getting into transports? They said no, it's a bit like it is in Sigmar, even though there's minimum transports, but it's the same. So you'll have a capacity, and the capacity is the capacity. So it doesn't matter what goes in there, whether it's 2 units, 3 units, 6 units, 10 units. It will be as many units as you want will go into there. Darren's had enough; he's out of there. So yes, I think that's quite good. That's quite good. So it means there's no worry about the whole unit jumping into the Rhino and then leaving their captain to foot slog it behind them. That didn't make sense, and I'm pleased that they've cleared that up, which is good.
Pretty good tactics wise. I mean, you can put loads of potentially separate characters in there, right?
Yeah, well, they used the kind of example of you could have like 10 special characters in a transport all driving up at the same time. Sounds a bit ridiculous, but it's possible. So that's quite cool. And let's talk a bit about Primus Marines. So everyone's talking at the moment about these Primus Marines. Now there's a bit of a love-hate thing going on. So now, first of all, I'm going to go over the cynical side. So the cynical side for me is basically this is undoubtedly the first move that GW do towards true scale Marines, and that ultimately I think is their maybe 5-year, maybe longer 5-year game plan to get that as the standard Marine. I can see that that's what they want to do in my mind. I might be wrong, but I think that's what they're trying to do. But they're trying to do it so they're easing that in slowly. So they're not making it so it's an overnight job. They're not saying to the community, all your Marines are now invalidated. They are just saying, right, we're going to introduce this new range of Marines, and we're going to do it by giving it some fluff. And the fluff that they've come up with is obviously this is Belisarius Crawl's been making these Marines in his basement laboratory in Mars, and he's pretty much gone, there you go, Gilliman, I've bought you some new Marines. So Gilliman's gone, yep, thank you very much, I will absolutely take them, they look great. And then he's gone, but actually I want to make some more, and I want to share the love and give these to everybody else as well. So he's made some chapters, so he's made some homebrew chapters. Now that will give the hobbyist the advantage that now they will be able to go away and make their own chapter of new Primus Marines.
That's
and
awesome.
Which is obviously, again, plan, which is cool. And then he's also given them to the existing chapters to say, here you go, these are anti-chaos to bolster your forces. So I like the way they built that fluff in. But how are you feeling, guys, about the Primus Marines?
Dude, I think it's been long overdue. True scale Marines. All right, yeah. Do you know what? Everyone's got loads of Marines that they're going to eventually, move over. But I don't think anyone's going to be upset if if you turn up to a tournament and they did bring out all new ones and you brought your old ones along. I don't think anyone's going to be upset with that.
I know someone who actually cuts the legs and puts in plastic card to make him a bit bigger, like true size Marines, you got to think he's got to be livid now after doing all of that. Done. And they're just like, oh yeah, we've created these, by the way.
Well, at least he's thought ahead, and he's actually, he doesn't have to worry about it because his army's already there, done for it. So he's pretty cool on that. But how long is it going to be before Mr. Fabulous Bile gets his hands up with them for Chaos?
Oh, that's definitely going to happen. But in some ways, I do wonder about the creativity of Games Workshop. I'm just like, it's nearly like Centurions. It's like Space Marines in armor inside more armor, and now they're just a bit bigger. It's like, I'd like to see more factions. But anyway, getting off the point. Fluff-wise, I do have some questions about it. I read some interesting articles. If you think about it, the Emperor is a supreme being, and he spent hundreds of thousands of years designing the Space Marine, who's absolutely awesome. And this guy Kroll's come along, and in 10,000 years, he's just taken what the Emperor's done and made it better. So, I mean, look, I love them, and they look awesome, but I do have a few questions around the fluff, and I'm a bit like, really? Could he do that?
How do you know the Emperor hasn't, communicated him in some form, shape, and gave him the idea and the inspiration?
Yeah, I'll let you write the fluff for that then.
Well, in his Stephen Hawking form,
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's an interesting one. I can kind of. It seems quite blatant, I suppose. The story is quite weak behind it, I would say, realistically. The models look really, really cool, and it's 40k, so it's all plausible. They did say, however, which was interesting with your point about older Fabulous, whether Fabulous is going to get his hands on them. They said that they've kind of almost been specifically designed to be quite anti-chaos. So he might struggle with that at first, but I think, let's be honest, it's only a matter of time, isn't it?
This guy managed to get up, Primarch DNA. This guy made Primarchs.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's tell what. Let's the Dead Emperor have his lovely big Space Marines. How about Fabulous Bile just builds a load of Primarchs instead?
Yeah.
Like what we were saying before. They have the ability to build a range out for Blood Angels, Space Marines, Salamanders, all of them, and we say goodbye to Space Marines. Are we talking like 2 editions? Should you run out and sell your Space Marines straight away?
I reckon 5 years. I honestly think this would be about a 5-year plan, just because of how long model kits come out. I think we'll probably be looking at 5 years before the majority of the key line turns to these new Marines. That's my guess. That's just literally I've got no grounds on that, but I would go with that. But they also spoke about the fact that this is obviously just the first run of these Marines, and the fact that there's going to be more specialist versions that do all sorts of other bits and pieces. So yeah, I'd expect Devastators, Stern Guard, all sorts. It kind of points more to the fact that they're definitely going to be transitioning more into these new Marines as they kind of go on, So yeah, I think it's exciting though. They're great models, cool models. I can't help but go on to the next bit. They said that Tyranids in particular, they said huge monsters Tyranids will be faster, tougher than before. Is probably obvious, but I think that's cool. I like particularly the faster bit, because any Tyranid players will know that if they haven't got wings at the moment, they're ridiculously slow. So it will be cool to get the sort of speed that probably is warranted with their fluff. So that'd be really cool. Nice to see Tyranids back on the table. What armies are you most excited about getting on the table?
I can't wait to see some orc players get their stuff out. Like, that's going to be cool. They deserve some love. And I know you guys are going to say Chaos and Tyranids and Khorne and what you currently play now.
Oh, actually, do you know what? You're wrong there, Mr. Cannon. Totally off topic.
I think we should do a challenge where we just start new armies that we've never done before.
No, because that only leads Tau and Elder, and I'm just not going there.
I would be up for that.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
I'd be up for that.
You know what? Better still. The challenge is this. We choose the other person's army.
Oh, that's good. That's evil.
I do like that.
I did fancy dress once, in an old house I lived in Wickham, and we all picked names out of a hat, and we got to dress those people up, and that was one of the best house parties I've ever been to. I ended up going as like, oh, I'll dig up the picture, but it was pretty horrific what my people dressed me up as. I mean, we tarred and feather one guy, like we covered him in super glue, this sticky spray PVA glue, and we feathered him and painted him black, and he couldn't get that off for weeks.
Okay, let's add some more. Let's make this challenge a little bit more interesting. Okay, we look at a tournament, a tournament, whoever tournament we're going to go to, right? Yeah. So we go how many points that tournament is going to go by, and let's make this even more challenging. We set a budget to it.
Oh yeah, budget that. But the thing is, Darren, I've actually got to paint the army. That's the other problem. Do you know what I mean? It can't be too high.
No, listen, Sean, that'd be fine because it'd be the night before the tournament. Yeah. You'll be there painting, so it'd be fine.
Spray it.
I've got Black Templars.
Oh, I have to wait. Yeah. We'll have to wait until
Aaron, I'm going to make you do 100 grots.
So what are we going to do though? Are we going to make a guess? I think probably the fairest way to do it, we'll almost guess that army before 8th edition drops. To decide each other's armies before.
That's so good. Edition. I think we should let the chat choose. We should have votes, but you can't pick your army. Let the chat choose. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm worried.
Should have Harlequins.
No, because they might be good.
I genuinely hate having to paint that many colours, but apparently Harlequins are meant to be really good.
Is that your air
compressor?
That's the air compressor just kicking in, you know. Doesn't normally do it. It just decides now is the time.
Nice.
What army would you most like to do, Ace? And what would you least like to do?
I would...
You know what? I reckon he would love to do orcs.
I would. I would most like to do orcs, apart from I don't particularly want to paint them. I'd most like to do orcs, and I would least like to do Space Marines.
Ooh. Darren?
I'd hate to do Grey Knights.
Do you believe him? No chance. He's just going, give me a model count that's low.
He's a cabinet full of Grey Knights.
Honestly.
I have no Grey Knights.
Yeah. I'm not falling for that one.
What would I least like to do? I think I'd least like to do something that I've recently done. I don't know what I'd least like to do. I think I'd only find that out halfway through. I think, to be fair, going back and experience, I built some Dark Elder before, and I didn't like that because their kits broke, and like they pierced my hands and stuff, and I didn't like that. That really annoyed me quite quickly, and I just went, nah, I'm not doing that.
Your excuse is that they cut your hands. How old are you, Mr.
It's really
Canning?
spiky. They've got little fragile spiky bits. But what I most like to do...
This is why he doesn't play Chaos for.
Do you know what? I really want to do like a whole Cadia army with the environmental hazard units. I think I'd like to do them. That would be my go-to. But I mean, again, a guard army. Imagine like a foot-slugging guard army. Right, you've got 3 months to paint 100 or 200. Oh,
no,
it's doable.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, rumours. Let's not get sidetracked. But I like to. Good.
Okay. Right. So. I think one of the last things that we'll cover on the kind of rumours stroke news straight from Games Workshop was around their strategy to keep things balanced. So there were a lot of questions around balance and around how they would keep things updated. Now they've said that they would definitely do a yearly General's Handbook style update. So you'll get one proper full documented points and slight tweaks to the rules that will happen every year. So if you like, it'll almost be from now on will be like a new edition every year, so they can change the meta yearly. And I think what they kind of spoke about and what they've sort of said is they'll do that mainly through altering points rather than necessarily dramatically changing things. So you'll see, points drastically going up and down depending on where the level of the power is for those particular units, which I thought was nice. They've also said that they will kind of almost live FAQ as well, so people will be able to put their questions straight through to the community website, and they will get back to people really, really regularly with FAQs. So it sounds like it's going to be a lot more organic and a lot more continuous when it comes to rules questions and keeping that balance in place. So I thought that was really, really interesting and very, very positive for match play. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I think that's a great idea.
I don't think you can say too much on it. I think it's just the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do, isn't it? And I think, myself and you, Sean, were talking to the guys a couple of weeks ago, and I think ultimately they would love to be in a situation where they could almost update things continuously and keep it live. There's a few things that get in the way of that, but I think that's ultimately they want to get closer to that place.
I think it was interesting because I argued the fact that rules should be as live as possible, and as feedback comes in, if something's really broken, they should try and change it as quickly as possible. But, after I walked away and I thought about it, the points are really valid. Like if you go out and you spend, let's say you want to take 6 dreadnoughts and they're at the time they're the best thing you can get, and you want to do that, you invest the money. You should at least have a year to play with it. And, it takes time to build it. To it, you don't want to go out and spend a lot of money and suddenly it's no good anymore. Especially if you're a gamer, that's the thing. Some people, they're painters, they don't care. That's absolutely fine. But I think 6-12 months of having a nice themed army that's pretty powerful, and that's what you like, and you want a competitive game. That's cool. And then at the end of 12 months, they bring out the handbook and off you go again. Make money, people are happy. It's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, well guys, before we finish the show this evening, we're going to just kick off some questions. So I'm going to throw it to the chat. Any questions about anything at all? If you want to particularly direct it to the guys, I'm sure they'll be happy to answer anything. Questions you've got about them, about what they want to do, whatever you like, just chuck it to us, and we'll do our best to answer. If anyone talks about Jaffa Cakes, I will have them banned from this room. What's Greg guy saying?
So is it a cake or is it a biscuit?
Oh, you haven't gone there, have you? You had to do that. You just made it worse, Darren. You've just made it worse.
How do you think Gauss will work? I mean, I suppose Gauss will probably work the same as Grav in some ways, won't it? It'll be maybe a 6 is a wound. I think what will happen to Immobilize? That's another one. Grav and Immobilize is probably gone.
Yeah, I think that has gone. They didn't say as much as it has definitely gone, but you kind of read between the lines. They kind of said that it kind of gone. So I thought that was cool.
We haven't heard much about Necrons at all, have we? Like that, they'll be interesting.
Yeah, they will. They spoke about Dark Eldar having sounded like almost like a regeneration save. So they'd have after they died, you get a roll, and on a 6 up, the power through pain kicks in, and they and they survive. So I thought that was quite cool. So that sounds maybe like it's something that might be the same with the Necron RP.
But every turn, you need a 6, so they just stay in the board, but they don't move, or you put them on their side or something.
It's almost like a second save. So if you so once you at the end of that combat,
feel no pain, right?
The end of you just roll it, and kind of like a feel no pain. But they said it was and it'd be for every damage. So if you had something that damaged a unit and did say you killed a unit that had 10 guys in it, but you actually did 20 damage. You'd have to do 20 of these saves to see whether you could kind of keep them alive, if that makes sense. So it doesn't sound like it's very reliable, but it sounds like a little extra thing that might make them a little bit better.
Well, hold on, Necrons are better at the moment anyway, if you think about it, because they're getting up on 4. You take the right specs now, you're getting up on 4s anyway, so you're rolling on 3s, and then you're getting up on 4s. So if anything, they're probably going to get a little bit of a nerf.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
So how do you think Gauss is going to work then? What's your guess? I think it might lose I reckon it might lose a bit of its flavour, and it might just I don't know. Maybe it
Sixes
wound.
will probably be a wound or something like that,
Yeah.
and it just won't immobilise. Well, we know it's not going to mobilise, but so it just maybe just cause a wound.
Yeah.
We still talking about Gus, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, what wasn't the idea behind them in the fluff that every time they did a wound, they caused an immobilise? But I'd imagine maybe in the next edition, it might have a special rule where it says, if you cause a wound, you actually do 2 wounds, because then that'd chip away at vehicles, wouldn't it? I'd imagine. But I mean, I think they're probably trying to avoid getting to a stage where there's so many loads of special rules. Like, that's what really slowed down 40k. So they're probably thinking, right, let's just try and reflect the rules in the weapon stats that, Gus against, like, maybe a vehicle, you roll 2 dice extra. I don't know. Just keep it nice and quick. That's what they want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Who knows? Maybe that's the way it'll change. Maybe it'll just be, very fast game. A lot of stuff dies really quickly in combat, a bit like Heresy, and, vehicles die quickly and they explode, and it's all a little bit random. I think it sounds like movement's going to be the key thing to this, like, edition.
Absolutely. I think you're right. What army in your collection do you think will do best in 8th edition? So I think my Tyranids. I think my Tyranids are going to get the biggest boost, and I think the Necrons will get the biggest. Not Necrons. The Tau will get the biggest nerf. That's from my eyes, I would say.
Good.
Well, you reckon they'd be really paper thin?
What, Tau?
Yeah, or no, sorry, not Tau. I was thinking Eldar. I thought.
No,
I think Tau will do okay.
They'll
be grand.
I think they'll be okay, but I think in comparison to where they are now, I think they won't be as strong. I think they'll, because they've said that they're still not going to be good in combat, and I think combat's going to come through a lot stronger, and I think their shooting will get better as a standard. So it sounds like probably most things will hit easier. So you might have like almost a 3+ to hit rather than a 4+ as standard. But I don't think we're going to get so many buffs from. I think marker likes are going to be massively reduced. Interceptor sounds like it'll be a thing of the past, and I wouldn't be surprised if supporting fire gets a bit nerfed as well. So I think as a standard shooting army, they'll probably have better range than most people, and their damage output will still be very, very good. But I think all the shenanigans that make them really powerful at the moment will probably go. So I can see them be reduced. But I think Tyranids are going to get really strong. I think their monstrous creatures are going to be incredibly powerful, and their little combat guys, so things like Hormagaunts and Gene Stealers, I think are going to be really quick and are going to be very, very effective. So
yeah, but are we safe in saying, like, we don't know what it's going to look like if you've got, combat units charging in against, I suppose, the bigger monstrous creatures? And from my understanding is, if they lose combat and then they fail the moral, like, so you can drop it down, moral plays a bigger kind of aspect to it, that you can just add loads of wounds on really easily.
It's not,
and you're shooting out of combat. Like, this game's going to be very, very different than what we currently think.
Absolutely.
I think especially if it's more strategic, and it's how you move around, and kind of like a bit like chess, like you're thinking a couple of moves beforehand before it even happens. Like, stuff could die really, really quickly, and you might find yourself, a good player could really outplay you with any army.
Yeah. No, definitely. So in your guys, I mean, from yours, Darren, what do you think is going to get the best, and what do you think is going to get the worst from what's in your collection currently?
It's a tough one because I reckon it's going to be my Thousand Suns that I'm working upon now are going to get nerfed. It's just Esau's law. Guarantee it. That's what it's going to be. I'm going to go to No Retreat, and the army I'm going to be working on for No Retreat is going to be fluff big time. And I reckon the ones that's going to pick up for myself would be. I'm going to go with you on this one, John. I'm going to say my Nids. I think that's going to be great. Just a chance to dust them off. Maybe add a few new models to the collection.
Some of
while.
them cool models that are absolutely useless at the moment.
I hope they're scary. I used to love playing Nids where you'd set up on the table and you'd just be like, right, if I don't kill them, they're going to kill me. And it was just that endless tide and panic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had. It was like the last stand. You had to make sure they didn't get nowhere near you. or if one of them got near you, that was it. It was game over. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. So yeah, I reckon the Nids are going to be more powerful. Orcs definitely, but for my army, it's going to be Nids. What one of your two armies is going to be good for you, Sean?
I'm actually pretty safe in this one because my thinking behind it is fluff-wise, it's Space Marines against Chaos Space Marines, and I've just got loads of them sitting around the house. So I'm hoping my Nurgle is really cool because I'm looking forward to painting that and getting that out. And Space Marines will always be average, and they're either strong or average. It's very rare they're weak for a long time because they're pretty much the mainstay of 40k for all the new players. So they'll be okay. The only kind of unknown that I don't know about is going to be the AdMech. I just don't know how that's going to come through the rules, but I'm sure they'll do fine. There's been a lot of play testing around it. I'm sure if you're an AdMech fan and you don't feel like it kind of suits the fluff, or you've been play tested, I'm sure you're kind of giving that feedback back to the guys and saying, look, this just doesn't feel right, or this is underpowered, or maybe it's even overpowered. I don't know, but yeah, unknown.
Okay. So have a quick look what other questions coming through. What do you think of the new twin linked rule?
Oh, that's awesome. Oh my god, I can't wait for that. Like, the heavy bolters from Forge World, that looks so cool. They sound like you can actually use them. and last cannons on a Land Raider, four shots? Wow.
Yeah.
That's much better. I much prefer that.
But I also think I've never really understood why. So you have like a weapon. So like if you look at the Avenger bolt gun thing at the front of the Space Marine flyer, what's it called? The
Fire Raptor.
Fire Raptor.
That is pumping out an insane.
But when you look at it, that's two guns. I never understood the twin link thing before. This makes sense. If you've got two guns that are sitting next to each other, they should be able to shoot. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, of course not. Why would you say that for?
Do you know what's interesting? You got to think, right? The rules writer of Forge World, he's just been given like a stack of probably like PDFs, and he's got to create rules for them. And someone's he's like flipped the page over, and there's the Fire Raptor, and he's looking at like multiple missiles, multiple auto cannons. He's looking at the Avenger bolt cannon. Like, that thing's going to run out of ammo in like 2 turns. It'll be like the Manticore. It'll be like, yeah, I've had 2 turns shooting, I've killed half your army, but that's it. I'll just claim objective.
I mean, what about so Craig in the chat just said about like orc bikers, because those bikers, they've got
man, Vendetta's got 6 last cannons. What's the bets like? They come out with the rules of that, and people are like, just buy your Vendettas now because they're gonna spike.
6 las cannons on a Vendetta. I'm suddenly liking the sound of God.
Oh mate.
That's amazing. Manticores and last cannons on the Vendetta. Man, I've got 2 Vendettas. I'm gonna crack them out pretty quick.
I bet you are.
What else has got massive amounts of firepower? Like loads of twin link stuff. I'm trying to think, and it's just kind of escaping me.
The Flying Hive Tyrants are going to go from having 12 shots to 24 shots with the Devourers.
Oh, Matt, John, like
but you're going to find they're going to get.
Look at them at the back.
They're going to get nerfed down. Guaranteed.
There's a line of things to paint for John. He's got a couple of flyrants out. He's like, well, I'll do some highlighting on them.
I just put a little green stripe down this one.
Yeah.
So does that mean that like things like Centurion? So like they'll have twin link last cannons. So they'll have 2 last cannon shots. Then they'll have like what, the rockets or the heavy bolters. Like they'll just be pumping out an insane amount of firepower.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
They should really, shouldn't it?
Yeah, and those like the bolters, the hurricane bolters on the side of Land Raiders, they're gonna be like.
Oh man! So you'll have these Land Raiders rocking up just with insane amounts of firepower, and then you'll have all your characters jump out and just go wild. It'll be like a mad house party when the police bust it. They pull up and then everybody's just like scattering out just through the hedge, through the building. Just
imagine a Spartan. The Spartans are going to have 8 las cannons on each side.
That's going to be brutal.
What about the Vindicator Laser Destroyer? Like, are you going to say, right, yeah, I'm going to sit still and I'm just going to pick up these 12 dice and
you can take
I roll 1 dice.
Yeah.
And that'll be brutal. Point and click. Bam.
Yeah, I think it's quite exciting though. It's quite exciting. I think that's they've said that though, and I think it's really good. You know, loads of damage output, so games go quickly. You know what I mean? The more toys you can get on the table, the more stuff dies, the better. Let's get away from those kind of Death Stars and the stuff that just doesn't die. Let's just have loads of fun stuff that just dies really easily. I think everyone's in that same boat, surely.
What would your wish list like? What would your top 2 or 3 things be for the next edition? What would you want to see if you rock up to a table? You've got your army with you. What would you like to see that game look like?
Tyranids being amazing, Tyranids being amazing, and Tyranids being amazing.
I think you missed the question there. I mean, I'd love to rock up to a table and have someone who's fairly inexperienced, new to the hobby, who's looking forward to have like a really good game and having a chance as well. That's key to me. I really want to see that there's not a steep learning curve and you know, you go to a tournament, you're just like, oh yeah, I've got this one because he doesn't know what he's doing really.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's the way it's going to be, isn't it? I mean, I think there's a rumor that says it's going to be 10 pages long, the rules. So obviously Sigmar was like 4 pages. They said it's going to be 10 pages, but either way, it's a streamlining in the rules. So it's all going to be, the complexity is going to come from your codexes and going to come from your data slates or whatever they're going to be. And that's great because it means that it's good for all players. So if you're, you know, little Billy who's just starting playing and wants to pick up a couple of boxes of Space Marines, it's going to very, very easily be able to grasp the game, and there's not going to be all these stupid complexities and bloatedness that we see at the moment. But yet, you know, like us that want to go and play tournaments and want to be looking at the, you know, most filthy, dirty combination, are going to be able to find that through the data slates.
Yeah, Craig's put a really good point in the chat. He's like, I want to see different units on the table, not just the same Space Marine copy and paste formations. I completely agree with him. I want to turn up to a table as a competitive player, and I want to see someone put an army list on the table that I just haven't seen before, and I'm just like, right, how am I going to try and get around that? That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I reckon there's going to be a lot of Riptides going on eBay soon. There's going to be an all auto trader just for Riptides.
John, you better buy a load of them up and hopefully Tau get better for 9th edition.
There's going to be nothing wrong with Riptides. They're going to be absolutely fine.
Listen, you're going to see them on so many bases. People are going to be so sick and tired of just smashing them up and just sticking them on bases.
I'd hate to think though that in the same way they might move towards a kind of like an edition where, you know, let's say Orcs and Tyranids are good, and you're basically right. If you really want to win and play really competitively, you've got to go out and buy like 150, you know, little models. Like that would be a nightmare for me.
That's fine. I've already got those models sorted, so I'm good.
I'll get you to paint them for me. Right.
Yeah,
Anything else? Any more questions?
A army solely of Rough Riders would be great.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would.
Oh man, that'd be like the Twin Towers, wouldn't it? Where they come down the slope. And I used to play the Hobbit a lot. And what was the Hobbit? Yeah, it was like I played the Hobbit, and I had a Rohirrim army on horses, and they man, it was a good game. It was just difficult to get people in the store to play it, but I absolutely loved it. Combi weapons. We have a question again from Craig. What do you think?
Combi weapons. So combi weapons, apparently so you're not going to run out of them, so you'll just have that weapon as well. So
Makes sense. I always used to be like, well, why do these guys spend so long building this like amazing weapon and it's only got one shot?
Yeah. Can you imagine?
It just never really made sense.
It's got this massive, great big weapon. And it's like it's one use only. It's like okay, fine.
But isn't there a downside? Like if you use the combi weapons, then you got like -1 to your ballistic skill or something, is it?
Yes, I think so. I think that's right. Yeah. I think you can use the combi weapon at -1, I believe. That I might be making that up, but I think that's what it is.
You've got to think, right? Some guy's going to have a game with his combi weapon where he needs like a 5 or a 6 to hit, and then he needs like a 5 or a 6 to win some really tough models. But he might pull it off, and he might be running around so like one Space Marine captain, and like he just nails a Dreadnought, and then he moves on to the next one, and he like pops maybe like the Sergeant or a Terminator, and just has a field day with this one like.
Yeah.
You're going to be chuffed with that, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Makes games memorable.
Yeah, absolutely. Any more questions? Right, Scragguard. I'm not going to answer the question. I'll let you boys answer it. I'm not even going to read it out. What do you think the question is?
Oh,
Sean?
it's about bakes, isn't it? It's cakes or biscuits. I
Yeah.
don't really know.
Cakes.
Just in case anyone's wondering why, like, I'm turning around consistently and looking behind me, it's because I'm speaking to everyone through my Xbox, and I've pulled my Kinect right over, but the sound's behind me. So when the guys speak, I have to turn my head. And I definitely needed like a new gaming chair. That's the next thing I'm gonna get. Just like you, John, a bit lower. Like I want to be closer and lower to the camera, something like this.
No one wants to see you that close, Sean. No one wants to see you that close.
Are we gonna have guests on? That's the next thing I want to know.
Hang on a minute. This was me inviting you on my channel. Don't you get carried away.
All right, All right. All right. So we're not having
right.
a regular. Oh, we come on your channel then, is it, to do the
Sean,
talk weekly?
Sean, you're always welcome on my channel.
I'm getting excited about Twisted Dice.
And I think
Also one of myself.
And rightly so, and rightly so. Yeah, they're saying cake. I'm going to throw it out there. This for the last time, and for the record, I will not discuss this next week. But it is a biscuit. All right.
Is that actually true?
I've
been told there's many complexities to this, like cake or biscuit thing. But isn't it a cake? But they put it in the biscuit oil.
Yeah. So for me, anything that is housed in the biscuit aisle is a biscuit.
Yeah, but isn't the question, is it a cake or a biscuit? It's not where it's located.
It's for me, it's classed as a biscuit because it's in the biscuit aisle. Don't give this question.
Cakes in the biscuit, there's cakes in the biscuit aisle as well. So
no. The cakes are normally with the breads.
John, what's the weirdest thing you've ever seen in your store?
That's
do you get weird people who come in and just put like really strange stuff into the baskets? Sorry?
That's a very random question, and that's maybe one for next week. That one. Right. What have we got? Any other questions in here? Can you shoot both combis at once, but at -1 ballistic skill?
Believe that to be true.
Yeah. What else have we got here? Look what you've done, Scrag. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not brilliant.
Craig, the workers are the strangest thing in my local store.
I'm not even gonna
love Sean there.
I'm not gonna go there. Right, guys. Okay, so with that brilliant little bit of banter, as always, we are going to call the show here. As I said at the beginning, so if you guys are late into the show, the big news for today is that the new channel that will be us free. So if you've enjoyed talking to us and it's nice to have a break from my dulcet tones and you get to listen to these two, we have a new channel that will go live over the next couple of days. It's going to be predominantly battle reports to start off with, but we've got loads of plans for challenges, painting tutorials, just all sorts of stuff that's coming along. The name of the channel will be Twisted Dice, and expect it to drop very, very soon. So when it does, do me a favour, jump over and give the channel a like and a sub. It helps us all out massively. It's a lot of hard work when you start a new channel. So this is going to be a big challenge for us all. We put a lot of work in already.
Twisted Jaffas.
Shut up. Shut up. I'm trying to promote the new channel, Sean. Please do jump over. As far as this channel, and I didn't speak about this, I have previously, nothing will change over here, guys, so no worries. I'm just going to have to work twice as hard, if that makes sense. Expect this show coming weekly. It will be every week, Thursday, 10 o'clock. And don't be surprised if I bring these two clowns along for a bit of moral support in the future. But nothing will change here, so don't worry there. Twisted Dice, just around the corner. Please do like, comment and subscribe it when it comes around. And thank you for watching, guys. Good night. Good night for me, good night for these, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Bye, chaps.
Bye-bye.